Hi, welcome to today's Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant and I'm your host. And on today's broadcast, I want to take a few moments and speak with you about something that I call the constraint of greatness. Now, when you hear the word constraint, we immediately think of something that's negative, that is hindering, that limits our mobility and our motion, and that actually acts as an impediment to our ability to achieve our goals and aspirations. But when I think of the constraint of greatness, I'm talking about that thing that holds us into place, that fixed force that keeps us from wavering and wandering and abandoning our course. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever felt as if you were almost imprisoned by your passion? You can't quit. You see other people who had dreams and goals, and they made their declaration of greatness. They made that vow of greatness. When I grow up, I'm going to be. And as they got older, and things begin to happen or not happen, they were able to put it away and walk away and go on with their lives. You, meanwhile, are still constrained and compelled, still hindered and harassed by your passion. You should rejoice. That is known as a constraint of greatness. See, if you don't understand destiny, then greatness becomes illogical, irrational, and nonsensical. It becomes almost punitive and impoverishing if you don't understand the relationship between greatness and destiny. Then you will learn to curse its constraints. You'll see its constraints as something that cause consternation and perplexity and anxiety and even anger. You'll be angered that you cannot achieve your goals, and at the same time you can't walk away from it. I want to encourage you today. If you're constrained in that way, it is a sign and a signal that you are destined for greatness. You may call your passion an obsession in a way that undermines and berates and belittles your commitment, but let me tell you this. There's no greatness without great passion, and there's no greatness without the proper constraint. And if you'll learn to see your hindrances and your impediments as blessings in disguise, then guess what? You'll understand and begin to understand that you are being directed. You're being guided and guarded. You're being protected and prepared for your place. And I know you say, well, Joel, I just want to be there. I need some kind of sign, some kind of signal, some kind of outward manifestation that lets me know that I am on the right course. Well, let me tell you this today. If you cannot walk away from your course and you've tried, you are on the right course. If you tried in good faith to do all you can to quit and you can't quit, and you've also done all you can to succeed and you have not succeeded, then guess what? You are a prisoner of hope. There is no greater blessing or benefit than to be in the custody of destiny. That is what it means to have the constraint of greatness operating in your life. That means you are in custody of destiny. So here's one thing that you can do to make your constraints less punitive, to make your circumstance less negative. Accept it. If you don't accept it, you're going to fight against it, and you're only going to increase the constraint until it becomes negative, because you are assessing and assigning wrongly your circumstances. Every great person who achieved anything noteworthy and worthwhile at some point walked away, at least they thought they did, only to find themselves recommitted, re-enlisted, and recruited by destiny to become its prisoner, to come under its custody. And once they accepted that circumstance, they accepted their passion that, you know what? If I don't get it, I'm going to die trying. See, that's acceptance. That's the voice of acceptance. That's not resignation. That's not defeat. That's not quietism. That's not, well, I can't. No, that is the voice of victory. Now, that's not popular in our day and our age, because everybody is being told that you can achieve your success overnight. Attend any seminar, attend a symposium, learn these steps, get this mentor, get this master, and it's only a few moments before you manifest your greatness. And you probably have found out for you that's not the case. That may be so for somebody else, but there are those individuals, for reasons known only to fortune or fate or destiny, whose courses are longer, whose paths are narrower, and sometimes even more painful. And I want to encourage you today. If you are under that constraint, and you can't walk away from that compelling, it is because you are a prisoner of hope. You are in the custody of destiny. And what you have got to do is learn to accept your circumstance. And you will find the constraint loosening and lessening. The second thing to do when you feel like you're in the constraint of destiny and you can't walk away from it, you must also learn to express it. That means renew your commitment to declaring your intention. Because when we experience prolonged failure and protracted delay, then we begin to censor and silence ourselves. We begin to edit ourselves and amend our aspirations because we feel like, you know what, if I don't talk about it, maybe the pressure will subside. And I can tell you this, you've probably found out that's not how it works. So what you have to do is begin to declare your greatness in the midst of your constraint. In the midst of your apparent barrenness and futility, still declare your intention to achieve greatness. Because what that will do, you will cause the constraints to begin to work for you and not against you. See, this is so important. This is part of the metaphysics of greatness. This is part of handling those things and those circumstances that circumvent your ability to walk away. Great people always learn to accept what they can't change, to declare their intentions, and the final thing is to be present to possibilities. Because when you're cursing constraints, when you're cursing those things that hinder and harass you, then what happens is you're beginning to narrow your vision. You're not educating your perceptions. You don't have the insight or the discernment that you need to perceive opportunity in the present. So you must be present to possibilities. Let me give you an example. I remember one time I was working for a company that was a great company, but I wanted something more. And I complained every day, all day, for 8 hours a day. And all I was doing was making myself miserable, making my co-workers miserable, and developing a bad reputation for having a bad attitude. And one day I decided, you know what, I'm going to write about what frustrates me. I'm going to begin to express and compose and put in print those things that perplex me, that anger me, and that upset me and unsettle me. And in about 6 months, I had a book called Work, Why? Diary of a Dreamer, subtitled The Anatomy of Greatness. And do you know that those complaints that I put in print won me $10,000 about 2 years later? I felt harassed and hindered. I felt picked on and left out. And I began to curse my desire and impugn my passion. And I'm so glad that I did not leave that job, that position, before I changed my disposition. And only that, from that one incident, I got the idea for 5 other books. Three of which since I've already published, and 2 more already written, just waiting for the day that I decide to publish those books. But I want to encourage you today, because I know how it feels to be a prisoner of hope. I know how it feels to be in the custody of destiny, and it feels like I'm being harassed. I'm almost being teased and toyed and taunted with by fortune, because I can't walk away from it, but I can achieve it. But let me tell you this. Your desire is the confirmation that the destination is there. God would not have put it in your spirit if it wasn't going anywhere. But just as your desire grew, you got a little depressed because you found no place for your dreams to manifest. Even so, your desire is the confirmation that the destination is there. It wouldn't be in your life if it wasn't going anywhere. That's not just a poem, that's a perspective. It's not just a perspective, it's a source of power if you choose to appropriate its lines, its logic, and help you to better manage the constraints of greatness. And if you do that, you turn your now into the then that you've been waiting on. And incrementally, you will find yourself being renewed, refinished, and refurbished. And you'll be excited about your process and not just always trying to analyze it for what you're doing wrong. Be encouraged today. You are on your way. Those constraints are designed to compel you to keep you true to the course, true to the calling, and faithful in your commitment. And if you will do that, I'm going to see you on the summit of success that I call greatness. Until next time, this has been the Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant. Have a greatness week, because you can.